Hey guys, how are you beautiful people? I am here with a new review from Pat McGrath. I was sent this by influencer for free for review purposes, but as always, y'all know I always tell the honest truth, no BS on here about any kind of products. So first up is the concealer. I am in the shade LM8. I do have Sephora pulled up here so I could tell you guys the concealer, like what's it called, like the price point and all that. It's $32 and there's 35 colors, so the shade range is really nice. I will hopefully be putting around here a demo, or I'll pop into a demo after I talk. So this is supposed to be a creamy, lightweight, full coverage concealer with a natural radiant matte finish. It's supposed to brighten underneath the eye and hide the appearance of blemishes. It's supposed to be for any skin type, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not for people with dry skin or mature skin. Mama, you see this? Mama's not youngin' anymore. I am, you know, hitting that 40 age bracket really soon in a couple years, and this just made me look way older. I even try to use extremely less product, but I would definitely have to apply oil, like something on there to really make this like smooth out on there. So I am going to continue playing with it, but I've worn this 4 different times, and every single time my eye underneath there looks so crepey and so just ugh. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the demo so you guys can actually see it in action. I did use the brush, which is an overpriced brush. This is, how much is this? $32. This little brush to me is not worth that. It just, I mean, just because it has her name on it, it's a really full coverage kind of brush for underneath the eye, but I feel like you could get something cheaper out there. So this would definitely be a pass for me. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the demo and come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a demo on both eyes. One I'm gonna do with a sponge and one with the brush that is recommended from Miss Mother Pat. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in. I am in the shade 8. I feel like this is a good shade. I could go a little bit further down if I wanted it to be like super brightening, but I feel like this is a really nice shade. It does lean a little bit more on the peachy side, and this is in the light medium category. So I only had like different options on influencer to pick a shade, so based on swatches, that's how I picked. Anyways, I'm just gonna put, I don't have anything on my face, and I'm just gonna put a little bit amount just to demo it for you guys. And I'm gonna actually use the brush that she recommends, which I'm pretty sure is hellified expensive. This is their Sublime Perfection Concealer brush. So it's supposed to help with a flawless application. We shall see. This is my first time using the brush itself. I have applied this concealer various times, but using a damp sponge. So, okay, wow, this brush is giving a really high coverage, which I don't know if I'm a fan of, because to be honest with you guys, I like more of a subtle coverage. And you can definitely see I just applied a tiny bit. I didn't do the whole YouTuber thing. So you can definitely see that a little bit goes a long way with this concealer, and you don't have to apply that much. So I'm going to go ahead and set this side with her Sublime Perfection powder in light. I do feel like this shade is the perfect one for me, because based on the other shades that I saw, I feel like they would darken my under eye a little bit too much. And I'm just gonna put the tiniest amount on here to just set it into place. And hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Like I said, less is more with this foundation. I mean, with this concealer, but you can definitely see it creeping into every little thing in here, just really accentuating my lines and my under eyes, which I do not like whatsoever. So we're gonna do a little bit of the concealer on the other side, but with the sponge. So like I said, you only need the tiniest bit with this concealer. It's super high coverage. And sorry, I'm making all this noise. And I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild sponge and just work that up. So as you can see, the sponge really does absorb the excess amount, and I usually start down and go up. And likewise, I'm going to set with just a little bit of her powder on this side So definitely, hopefully you guys are gonna be able to see this in the camera. This just really accentuates my lines. It just really accentuates the dryness underneath my eyes. You would definitely have to prep your skin to the 10th degree to be able to use this if you have dry under eyes or any kind of crepiness or anything like that. That is just something that I want to tell you guys as a forewarning. And yeah, I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So as you can see on the demo, even applying it with the Beauty Blender, I feel like it really makes my under eye crepey. It's not what I have on today. I actually have the Jeffree Star concealer on today. So I do not gravitate to concealers like this. This is extremely matte and extremely just like it sticks onto your skin and doesn't let go, which can be good if you're looking for something that's gonna stay in place, but it does just kind of like really dry out the area. So you're really gonna have to hydrate if you wanna try to wear this. I am going to try to play around with it, like maybe mixing a little bit of it with oil, but for the price point, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Why would I spend that amount of money on a concealer and it's not like I need to work around it and make it work for me? You want to be able to apply something directly to your skin and it work from the get-go. So this is something definitely if you're younger and maybe have oilier skin, this might work for you, but for dry, mature skin, I don't feel like this is really something that you want to try. And if you're gonna try it out, definitely get a sample from Sephora. Don't spill out the beans, or you could definitely return it, but just to not be wasteful, I would definitely say go to Sephora, get a sample. But for me, this was a fail. Just really made me look old as And the next thing is the Pat McGrath Labs, which you also saw in the video. This is the Pat McGrath Labs. All of it's Pat McGrath Labs. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, and this is what it looks like. It's her little bougie packaging, and it basically is a translucent powder. It's a stark white. It doesn't give a white cast like in person if you use just the bare minimum of it. It does have a nice kind of, hopefully guys you're gonna be able to see that on this screen. It does kind of give like a reflective property. I do like this. I don't fully love it. I like that it kind of sets everything in place, but if you go overboard with this, you're gonna get a white cast, and secondly, it's gonna look dry underneath there. Even though it has that reflective property, it also just kind of clings to the skin, especially that concealer. I am gonna go ahead and try this out with other concealers and see how I like it, because it was sent to me by influencer. But out the get-go, this is worth $30 for this. I do feel like the price point's okay, because I do feel like you would get a lot of uses from this and you only need the littlest bit. That being said, I feel like this sets your under eye, but it's not like that added coverage. For me, added coverage would be like, I like using the Huda Beauty powder, and also like my Hourglass powder, or the MAC Mineralized Light Plus. These are powders that really give like that brightness underneath and add a little bit of extra coverage. This does not add any kind of extra coverage. This would just be for setting, so you would have to take into account the $30 and be like, do I want to spend that? Do I not want to spend that? Just to kind of like set a little bit. And lately, I have to say, and this is probably way cheaper, I don't know how much the price point is, but I'll probably put it across the screen. This came in a box, this Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder, and this is the only powder that I can bake with. This stuff is amazing. This and the Huda Beauty are the only two powders I can bake with, and they don't look like super drying, but this one, and it smells like coconuts, unless you're not into coconuts, but this smells delicious, and it just leaves the under eye so smooth. It's actually what I baked with today, and of course I'm still gonna have my little lines here and there, because I can't make them disappear, but I do feel like it just kind of little brightens up and just like gives that like smoothness underneath the eye that I really like. So I just sold that one to you guys, but this one's just it's okay. So in total, I feel like the brush is a pass. This, depending on what kind of skin type you have, you might want to test out. And this one's just like, if you have the money and you want to spend it and kind of test it out, this is just an okay product to me. It's not something that I feel like is necessary in everybody's collection. So that is it for my review on all three of these products. Let me know if you've tried any of these. What kind of skin type do you have, or what did you do to make it work for you? Like I said, I'm going to keep playing around with like the powder with a different concealer. And then the concealer, like maybe use it with a little bit of oil underneath and see if maybe that helps not sink into my fine lines and look like all nasty. And the brush is definitely way too overpriced. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hit that little red button. You can follow me on my social media down below on Instagram, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.